Good morning. This is Howie, and I'm here to help you win with money. This brings us closer to the end of the week. Today, Friday, November 13th. And I have lots to talk about, but what I'm going to do is let you know in advance how I'm going to do it. In this video, I will cover a topic. I would like to cover just the current market direction for this week, which we see is going to open up. And I want to cover something about 401k millionaires. In my other video today, I will make a Bitcoin video because I want to cover some Bitcoin news. It broke 16,000 and I wanted to talk a little bit about that. And because I do separate playlists, you don't have to watch this video for like 4 different topics. You will just have to find the right video in the playlist. And at the end of this video, I will show my ETrade transaction log for the trades from yesterday. I'll put it in my Excel spreadsheet. I'll pivot it and you can see what the results were so far for this week. So let's continue on with today's episode. First off, markets look really good. Let's hit the refresh button. Let's see what's going to happen. Opening up. NEO looks like it's on fire in pre-open. The market looked like it's going to be pretty good. Wednesday was down. Thursday was down. Today's looking really good. So there's a lot to follow. But here's the news of the day. You see this here? Number of 401k millionaires. I'm going to pause that. Reach a all-time high. And this was yesterday at 1 p.m. I produced my video before this article was released. Check up here. I'm going to put a link to that. I produced a video and I even showed my 401k plan saying for most investors, because most people invest in an index fund in their 401k plan. So let's just show you something really cool in here. Fidelity have been releasing this data for quite a bit now. And the number of 401k millionaires increased. Now, if you look at this number, it's not a lot. Out of all their accounts they have, 30 million retirement accounts, only 262,000 accounts are in millionaire status. So it's interesting, but that makes sense. I already covered that stock market hit new highs on Monday. When the Pfizer news came out, this hit new highs. So that's cool. And we expect that. The next thing I wanted to cover at the very end of this article, I wanted to cover this concept real quick. Less than 2 minutes, we'll cover this. So we see that the number of 401k millionaires have reached new highs at Fidelity. Then in this survey, and again, this article written by the same reporter just a couple weeks earlier, this makes sense. If the average boomer only has 920,000, and Charles Schwab did this survey, they're saying, well, but they want to spend 135,000 per year in retirement. How long would their money last? And of course, it's not too hard to figure out, 7 years. So even if we use that $1 million mark from the previous article, and they're spending this much, their lifestyle is not going to last very long. What's sad about this is it goes on to say, well, that's what people want to do. They want to, right? They want to sustain this dream retirement. So they're okay with working a little bit longer. Most of them are okay with working part-time. Maybe some of them will do consulting. But they want to spend more than they really have, even their retirement funds. Kind of sad when your retirement only lasts 7 years or your funds only last 7 years. On one hand, if you know you're going to die, you have some type of illness or pre-existing condition, or your life expectancy in your family runs pretty short, then it's not a problem. Your money should last long enough if you know you're in that situation. But there's a lot of people who are not in that situation. They will live well into their 80s, 85, even 90s, and they're going to have a long retirement. They may not have enough money. People who follow the FIRE movement are always thinking about this concept. They don't want to, the money needs to last longer than their expected life. And that's the right way to do planning. You don't want to plan for a shorter life, even if you're in that situation. A lot of us want to leave money and create a legacy pass on the money to the new generation, the next generation, and create a legacy that lasts and teach kids how to use the money to do things that are bigger and better than just themselves, like to give money to charity and other stuff like that. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. Let's go to my trades now. We're going to transition. Okay. Let's switch to my ETrade. I'm going to copy these transactions out. As you can see, I do these every day. I already have those from the previous one. And then if I do this right, I'm going to paste it over. Oh, I have a filter on. Okay, undid the filter. Hit the paste button. That looks like it's in the right cell. Okay, switch accounts. And then let's copy all the trades from this account into here. And there you go. And then that brings here. But what I do is I like to delete things that are useless. Now this part, I have told you guys I have to do some formatting, so I will speed this part up. Almost done, hang on. I always do the same thing here. I always filter on this to fix everything here. Make sure all the puts say put. Make sure all the calls say call. And then I have to make sure all the strategies, there you go, so I fixed that. And the last thing I'm going to do is try to explain some of the things that I did yesterday. So we'll go back to yesterday's date. I'm going to hide this one because you don't need to see it twice. So hang on a second. I'd like to leave these unformatted for now so we can see what I did. And I can just adjust this slightly. So yesterday I had FSLY, and you see what it says? I closed this one and I moved it out. FSLY, another $1.50. But look what I did. I collected $128 for a cover call. Okay, so I moved it out. So that's rolling a cover call out one more week, and I rolled it up. I moved the strike price from $78.50 to an $80 one. Okay. For those who see this, this is not considered an options trade, so actually I have to remove that. So this is not an options trade. This is just a straight trade where I'm buying new shares. And what I did was I needed to round up my shares to 100 lots. And then I wrote a cover call. Once I had my 100 shares, I can write a cover call. That's what I did there. Visa, I did something strange here. Visa was not gonna, I had a cover call at a 225. And if you take a quick look at Visa, I had a cover call for 225. It's not going to hit 225. So I already made money on that option. So I end up closing that winning position, and I opened one that was a little bit lower, that was closer to this particular price, because I want to make an additional $3, $4, or $5 more for a trade that ends today at 4 p.m. if that makes any sense. So if you look at it again, what that means is I closed my winning trade for $4. I created a new position, which I collected another $11 for a net profit of $7.47. And again, that trade ends today. The only way you can lose is if Visa finishes above $215, which you can see even on this morning it's projected to open $1.73. It still needs another $5 on top of that. So today it needs to move $6.74 for me to lose money on that particular trade. So for $7, I thought it was a great risk. We'll see how it plays out. Next on to Xilinx. This looks like a really strange one because you can see how much value this is. What it shows you is I have an existing cover call on Xilinx. I had this one here. And you see the strike price means I had to sell my 100 shares for 113. Xilinx is trading way above 128. And I'll show you that real quick. Xilinx, because of the AMD merger, Xilinx is right here at 127, 128. It's going to pop to 129 today. And so you're saying, well, why would I do this? If you look at the net difference, I collected another $88 to my name. And now, when the merger happens, we have to see what's going to happen. So I want to lock in as much money in my pocket as possible. If I'm going to give up my shares, don't want to give it up at $113 a share, I'm okay with giving it up at a higher price. And so we'll see what happens with the share price. I expect it to stay around 130 bucks or so, or 140 I think. But I'm trying to put more money in my pocket before the merger happens. And anyway, I go on and I do this. This is a short secure put. I actually been losing on this one, but I rolled it out, collected another $78 here. It's SPY, I did an iron condor. You can see that. I wrote it down here. So that's what the call looks. It's a four-legged trade. It's high probability of winning, low risk, and low return. So I'm not making a killing here. I'm risking 500 bucks of my money to only make $51. But I think the odds are in my favor, and there's a reason why I do this. I stagger it with all my open positions. And I think I updated it correctly, so I created that new one here, and I stagger it with, you see I have different maturity dates for the S&P 500, and these are all iron condors. But because I have a 4 contract, I made a lot more money on that one. You see that? I made $95 per contract. This one that I just did, I collected 53 minus all the commissions, and so I keep track of the percentages. It's a low percentage trade. And then the next one I'm opening up will be, right, when I open a new one, I'm going to create one that, and I'm going to wait a little bit, because if I do it now, it'll be 49 days out. But I'm staggering, and I'm trying to get out of some of these other riskier trades. I'm trying to move away from sort of companies with high volatility and move into index. And I think that covers everything. So the moment everybody's been waiting for, well, how did I do? I go to my pivot table here. This is all real data. You see, don't forget to like and subscribe. Not a lot of YouTubers post their transaction histories. I do it in the pivot table. Hit the pivot. There you go. Nothing is, right, all real data. Hang on a second. I like to format this, make it pretty for you guys. So, decent day yesterday. Much better than today where I had to go to the doctor and do other stuff. Today may be a slow day. Like I said, the markets are up, but it'll look slow. Let's do this. You guys seen this. Hit the refresh. I expect this to move up. Well, it's still going to be negative, but I expect it to move up by 50 bucks, 51 bucks. And then I did some more cover calls, so this number is going to jump. So you ready for that? Hit the refresh, and there you go. So looking pretty good. From a data point of view, Q4 looks pretty good. So we'll finish the year strong, and then we'll move on to, we'll start tracking data by comparing year over year and stuff like that. So as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm going to do it one more time. Hit the refresh on this one. This one shows you what I made money, what I lose money in. Nothing fancy there. Well, that shows you my spreadsheets. Hopefully you enjoy it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. We want the YouTube algorithm to get this to other people. I think I'm one of the few YouTubers, not just talk about the news. I want to try to beat the news, right? It's not just reporting on what people see. I made a video based on what I know about 401k plans that everybody should be near all-time highs in their account. I want to beat the news. I want to be the one making the news. With my portfolio, I'm one of the few YouTubers that post their actual data and pivot it, and you'll see my winners and gainers. And not every trades are winners. You know, I have a lot of losers, and you'll see that. Look, I have a lot of losers. So, again, this is the best way to learn. Watch, follow the data, see what I'm doing. See, I admit when I'm wrong or bad trades, and I've been wrong many times. But one of the few YouTubers that will do this. I'm not teaching theory anymore. I'm teaching all the stuff that I'm actually doing. These are real trades. This is not a paper trading account. And while I'm doing this, I would like to teach the concept of why it worked, why it didn't, talk about the risks, what went well, what didn't go well. And that's how you learn. And I'm hoping that by doing this visual learning, that you follow the videos, that you appreciate it, that you will like it, that you will subscribe, follow my other playlists for other news. If you care about crypto, you can go there. If you want to understand some of the math behind what I do, go and look at that playlist. There's a series called Exposed by Math. Those will talk about different concepts in the financial world, and I will try to either prove whether it's right or wrong, or it could be both. Sometimes these statements that people make are pretty misleading, so I try to prove the math out. This brings us to the end of this episode. Let's share this with our friends. I'm here to teach you guys. I'm here to help you win with money. Let's do this together, and let's do this $1 at a time. Have a profitable day.